as you know, using the act, but we use it only when necessary. We use it as leverage. We generally don't have to use it to accomplish what we want to accomplish. As of today, FEMA has shipped over 9 million N95 masks, 20 million face masks, 3.1 million face shields, nearly 6,000 ventilators, 2.6 million gowns, 14.6 million gloves, and we're sending more every day, and we've got tremendous amounts of equipment coming in. A lot of great companies are making equipment right now. The ventilators, obviously, they take a little longer to make, but we have a lot of companies making them, and we're going to be in great shape. We took over an empty shelf. We took over a very depleted place in a lot of ways. As you know, the testing is going very, very well, and that was obsolete and broken, and we fixed it, and it's been going really good. And I think, very importantly, the stockpile, we're really filling it up, and we fill it up rapidly, but we get it out. Sometimes we have it sent directly to the states instead. And again, the state has to be doing this kind of a thing also. We're sort of we look from behind a little bit, and we look at how are they doing, and if they need help, we do it. But it's their first responsibility.
Yeah, boy, Leafy,
sometimes they just can't get it. But we load it up and we send it out. But if we can, we have it sent directly to the state.
I missed the beginning of the press conference.
To go directly to the point where we want it.
I think
I can now announce something that I think is incredible, what they've done in the Navy, because the incredible naval hospital ship, the USNS Comfort, which is incredible, actually, when you see it inside, will be underway to New York City on Saturday. So it's going to be leaving on Saturday rather than 3 weeks from now. They did the maintenance quickly, and it was going to be there for quite a while longer, another 3 or 4 weeks, and it should be arriving. I told the governor
watching right now.
20 minutes ago, Governor Cuomo, that the ship will be arriving at New York Harbor on Monday. I think I'm going to go out and I'll kiss it goodbye. I'll go to it's in Virginia, as you know.
Kiss it goodbye.
And I will go and we'll be waving together, because I suspect the media will be following. John, are you going to be following? Maybe. You never know, huh?
It's a very important vessel.
Great ship. It's a great vessel, is right. So if you want to go, I'll see you there, and if you don't, that's okay. After being fully loaded with medical supplies, it's loaded up to the top.
Yeah, I mean, the ratings are off the chart for this.
It's over at the Norfolk Naval Base.
A lot of people watching it.
That's where it departs. It is expected then to, we're saving about 3 to 4 weeks by the incredible work done by the Navy. And I actually look forward to Saturday to see it go. The ship will arrive, and I believe it's going to get a little bit of a sermon. There's something very beautiful about it. It's incredible.
Compare the
piece of work.
His tone to what's going on in the real world.
To provide hospital surge capacity for the New York metropolitan area. So it's a surge capacity. They may use it for this, or they may have other people coming in from hospitals unrelated to the virus, and then they'll use those hospitals on land. They'll use those hospitals for the virus, but we'll see how they do it. They could do it either way, one way or the other, whichever one is best. But it could be, because it's set up so well for a regular hospital, that they may take people out of hospitals and then use those rooms for the virus.
It's an incredibly chaotic response.
The National Institute of Health and the private sector, working closely with the FDA, continue to collaborate to discover and test treatments and therapies that can effectively reduce the duration and symptoms of the virus and very much help people to recover. And I'm firmly committed to bringing these treatments to market very quickly. We have a lot of tests going on with regard to different medicines.
He says how good everything is doing. I want to hear from him.
I hope we get lucky. I hope we hit. A lot of talented scientists and doctors are working on therapeutics, a cure, vaccines. I think we're doing very well. Tony may speak to that a little bit later, but I think we're doing very well with regard to the vaccines.
Fauci's back. Fauci was not at the last one.
The things I just mentioned, but we'll have to see what happens. We're going to know fairly soon about a lot of them.
2 ago, and everybody was
very advanced, and the vaccines are very advanced.
They were having a falling
prior
out or
to, as you know, a fairly reasonably long test period of in that case, over a year.
I mean, Fauci's
Every
the one who
American
knows
should
what
be
he's talking
proud of the
about.
incredible spirit our country has brought to this effort. It's been incredible.
Hey, thanks for the host.
Citizens from all walks of life have come together to turn the tide in this battle. We're witnessing the extraordinary power of American unity like a lot of people
He's like
have never
chiseled
seen.
out
Even
of
getting a
stone,
vote. You're
for
talking
sure.
about trillions of dollars and you get a vote of 96 to nothing. We are waging war on this virus using every financial, scientific, medical, pharmaceutical, and military resource to
I
halt
don't have very
its
many
spread
viewers
and
either.
protect our
Welcome to the
citizens.
club.
I want to express our tremendous thanks to the American people for continuing to practice social distancing like you people are practicing right
Why are
here.
you shook,
I don't know,
Reformed
this room may
Zozo?
never be the same. Maintaining good hygiene and follow government guidelines. Vice President Pence lifts up that card every time. And it's not very complicated, but
Did you guys get
hopefully
the,
you can do that. And your commitment will make all the difference
guys get the
in the
corona-
world, and that's one of the big ones
Coronavirus
will be for a while. Stay home.
card
Just
in the
relax.
mail?
Stay home. Making a lot of progress.
I
As
am,
we
but
continue
I'm
to
always
gather more
coughing.
information
I'm
and
feeling fine.
accelerate the testing, where we're doing record numbers of tests now, far more than any other country
right.
has
Well,
done.
if you want to mask up, that's cool.
I
with
told
me.
you yesterday, 8 days here, because you heard so much about South Korea. The media kept talking about South Korea, South Korea. We have a great relationship
Maybe.
with President Moon in South Korea. But when I hear so much about South Korea, so in 8 days, we do more testing than they did in 8 weeks. And it's a very
Well-
highly sophisticated test. We'll be able to deploy
We're way
even more
behind, though.
data-driven and targeted approaches to slow the ultimately, it's a very devastating thing, but we will vanquish this virus, and it's a lot of progress has been made. That's why earlier today I sent a letter to
Right.
America's governors describing how we will be using the
Tomorrow
data
we're going to be the most.
to update existing guidance
how
on
are we
social
doing now?
distancing, which will be developed in close coordination with our nation's public health officials and scientists. Because of the sacrifices of our great doctors and nurses and healthcare professionals, the brilliance of our scientists and researchers, and the goodness
Yep.
and generosity of our people,
We're going to be number one.
I know that we will achieve victory and quickly return to the path of exceptional health, safety, and prosperity for all of our citizens. We have to get back to work. Our people want to work. They want to go back. They have to go back. And we're going to be talking about dates. We're going to be talking with a lot of great professionals. But this is a country that was built on getting it done. And our people want to go back to
look at
work.
this.
I'm hearing it loud and clear from everybody. So we'll see what happens. We're going to have a lot more information early next week, and we'll be reporting that back. But I just want to leave it with you. We have to go back.
This is our
It's the
cases.
United States of America. They don't want to sit around and wait, and they'll be practicing. And by the way, a lot of people
Alien
misinterpret
foods.
when I say go back. They're going to be practicing as much as you can, social distancing and washing your hands and not shaking hands and all of the things that we talk about so much. But they have to
going
go
back.
back to work. Our country has to go back. Our
Wow.
country is based on that.
Dude,
And I think it's going to happen pretty quickly. A lot of progress is made, but we got to go back to work. We may take sections of our country, we may take large sections of our country that aren't so seriously affected, and we may do it that way, but we've got to start the process pretty soon. So we'll be talking to you a little bit more about that next week. And with that, if you have any questions, you
Right.
could ask, and then I'm going to have Vice President stay behind, and he's going to take questions and also introduce some of the people. You could ask them some questions. John, please.
Mr. President, okay, unemployment numbers out today, 3.3 million.
Yeah.
I take it not a surprise.
No, not at all.
But still a staggering number.
Oh,
I'm
sure.
wondering about your perspective on that.
Well, it's nobody's fault, certainly not in this country. Nobody's fault. We got very lucky when we made a decision not to allow people in from China at a
he's
very
really,
early date. I say
he
that
really
because
talks about that.
some people don't want to accept it, but this was a great decision made by our country. or there's the numbers that you're talking about. We're a big country. That'd be far greater, far bigger. So when I heard the number, I mean, I heard it could be 6 million, could be 7 million. It's 3.3 or 3.2. But it's a lot of jobs. But I think we'll come back very strong. The sooner we get back to work, every day that we stay out, it gets harder to bring it back very
thanks for the
quickly.
gift.
And people don't want to stay
explaining
in.
why some people
So
aren't taking
I
it
know those
seriously.
numbers,
Listening,
John,
put it
but I
in
think
here.
you'll see a very fast turnaround once we have a victory over the hidden enemy, as I say. It's a hidden enemy. Sometimes a hidden enemy is a lot tougher than somebody that stares you in the face, right? So we'll see what happens. But, I mean, they're fully expected numbers, at least. I mean, at least.
Like this, I've got sort of like the coronavirus.
Deploy some troops along the Canadian border.
I'm always coughing, don't worry.
Joe was complaining about that. Why is that necessary?
Well, we have very strong deployments on the southern border, as you know.
I've got sort of the
with Mexico, and we have
coronavirus
some
command
troops up
center
in
going
Canada,
on
but
here.
I'll find
How
out about
this?
that.
How about this?
I guess it's
Oops.
equal justice to a certain extent. But in Canada, we do have troops along the border. We have a lot of things coming in from Canada. We have trade, some illegal trade that we don't like. We have very strong sanctions on some. We have very strong tariffs on dumping steel. And we don't like steel coming through our border that's been dumped in Canada so they can avoid the tariff. I charge a lot of tariff for the steel, and it's been great for our steel companies because now they can
Got sort of like a
really go. You look at what's happened with steel; it's been pretty
DEFCON
incredible.
7.
But we've taken in billions and billions of dollars in tariffs on steel, and much of it comes in from China, but they can come through the Canadian border too. So we're always watching for that.
The numbers correctly, the United States now has surpassed China as the country with the highest number of virus cases. Does this surprise you at all? Is it following a predictable trajectory?
No, I think it's a tribute to our testing. Number one, you don't know what the numbers are in China. China tells you numbers, and I'm speaking to President Xi tonight, I believe, and we'll have a good conversation, I'm sure. But you just don't know, what are the numbers. But I think it's a tribute to the testing. We're testing tremendous numbers of people. And every day, the way the system works, and I want to thank especially Roche has been fantastic.
You think that they're hiding a lot in
company.
China?
They've done
Maybe.
a tremendous amount. Deborah was telling me before that they've really stepped up to the plate and done great, as have other of the companies, but it seems that they're really doing it particularly well. So, we'll see what happens there, but it's a tribute to the amount of testing that we're doing. We're doing tremendous testing, and I'm sure you're not able to tell what China is testing or not testing. I think that's a little hard.
Oh, working.
President, on the 3.3 jobless claims, you just suggested it could 6 to 7 million. A lot of those workers.
No, I didn't say that. No, you're wrong. I didn't say that. I said some people were projecting that it would be 6 or 7, and it's, I believe, 3.3.
Came in at 3.3. Millions of Americans out of work. Some of them will be losing their insurance. What's your plan to make sure, through no fault of your own, as you just mentioned, that they stay insured? Are you willing to plus up the subsidies for some of the exchanges under Obamacare, expand Medicaid? What's being considered?
So, well, I mean, the things I just read to you are being considered, and other things are being considered. People are going to be getting big checks.
This is
and
live, yeah.
It's not their fault. What happened to them is not their fault.
For their health.
So we're doing a lot of different things on health insurance. We have meetings on it today. We're taking care
Somebody's
of our
a
people.
wake-up
This
call.
is not their fault, what happened, and we're
He's not
taking
gonna
care. We're
wake up.
starting off by sending them very big checks. I think for a family of 4, it's about $3,000.
Tremendous
And,
testing.
We're taking care of our people. We're taking care of our workers. This was not, as I say, this was
I
not a
don't know.
financial crisis.
Is
This
it?
was a health crisis, a medical crisis.
What am I doing
We're
this
gonna
on?
take care of our
Family
people.
friendly.
Please, yeah. Please.
The National Restaurant Association came out. National Restaurant Association came
Restaurant.
out with a survey this morning saying that 3% of all restaurants in this country have shuttered for good in the past 3 weeks, and the projection is
Wow.
that 11% more are going to close in the next 30 days. So, what do you say to a restaurant owner who is looking at his sheets? And
Restaurants
he
are
has to
screwed, man.
close within the next 30 days.
Well, I hate to, I know the business very well. I understand the restaurant business. It's a very delicate business. It's a business
Whose lockdowns are authority of state governors,
it's
not the
not
president.
easy. I
No,
always
no,
say
I
in
think-
a
I
restaurant
think they might
business,
be
you
able
can
to do it,
serve
actually.
30 great meals to a person or a family, and they love it. One bad meal, number 31, they never come back again. It's a very tough business, but they're great people that run restaurants. And I've heard 3% could be lost, and you could go as high as 10 or 11%. But they'll all come back in one form or another. It might be a different restaurant, but it's going to be a great business for a lot of people. And
that's
we're
like
making it easy for
not-
people to look what we're doing. What we're doing
He
in
just
terms of
talks
loans,
like-
what we're doing in terms of
He
salaries.
never addresses the question.
They'll all come back. It may not be the same restaurant,
not be the same
ownership,
restaurant.
but they'll all be back.
What is? It's
Yes,
not
of
about
course.
whether there are enough restaurants.
Pledges from American companies to provide supplies, but does it get, as we top 81,000 cases in the US, does it make sense to relook at using the Defense Production Act?
What is that emote?
Well, I talk
What is it?
about the Defense Production Act a lot, and I've enacted it. I have it. I can do it with a pen. And we have actually used it on 2 minor occasions, and then we could withdraw it. But for the most part, the companies, we don't need it. We say, we need this, and they say, don't bother, we're going to do it. I mean, we're dealing with Ford, General Motors, 3M, we're dealing with great companies.
There's more
They
behind
wanna
the
do
scenes.
this.
What?
They want
What
to do
more?
this. They're doing things that frankly, they don't need somebody to walk over there with a hammer and say, do it. They are getting it done. They're making tremendous amounts of equipment, tremendous amounts. And when this is over, we're going to be fully stockpiled, which they would have never been, except for a circumstance. This was something that nobody has ever thought could happen to this country. I'm not even blaming. Look, we inherited a broken situation, but I don't totally blame the people that were before me and this administration. Nobody would have ever thought a thing like this could have happened. But the Production
Not true.
Act, Defense Production Act, is a wonderful thing, but I just haven't had to use it. They know it's activated. They know I can use it. Maybe that frightens them a little bit. You know, it's got tremendous power, but I haven't had to. Please.
Thank you, sir. Question for me, and then another question, if you'll let me, for some of my colleagues who are social distancing.
Where are they? They're all outside trying to get in, I know.
The first question has to do with cruise liners like Carnival and Royal
Yeah.
Caribbean. They want this relief aid, but they're worried that because they offshored to places like Panama and Liberia, they might not qualify. Senator Hawley has said that they should move back to the United States before they get a check. Do you agree? Should they pay U.S. taxes to get U.S. taxpayer relief?
So I'm a big fan of Senator Hawley, and I also like the idea. There were some senators that didn't want to do
You think
anything.
it wouldn't have
about
happened? It
Carnival,
would have
great
happened if
company,
Obama was here.
But they're based
Might have
in
played out differently.
different places. I won't tell you where. I can tell you exactly where they're based, but I won't do that. But they're based in actually more than one places. You know, ships are registered in different locations. I do like the concept of perhaps coming
Yeah.
in and registering.
I don't think it would have been
here,
as bad either.
coming into the United States. It's it's very tough to make a loan to a company when they're based in a different country. But with
I think
that
they
being
would have.
said,
They would have
have
gotten testing
and thousands of people
much
that work
quicker.
there, and maybe almost as importantly that work on shore,
I don't know if
filling
they would
these
have
ships
closed
with
down
goods
the
and products.
country that quick, though.
And the cruise line business is very important. And I know Carnival, what a great job they do. Mickey Harrison. And I would think that
What's Bill Gates up to? He said
they
that.
could stick with Senator Hawley and maybe really look at that very seriously.
He said that we need
Look,
to
it's a big
shut
business.
down the country
it's a great
for like
business. It's a
8 weeks,
business that
seriously, the whole
employs
country, I
tremendous
think. Didn't he say
number
that?
of people outside of the ship itself. I mean, you look at these ports. It's loaded up with shops and people that are involved with the ship. So
Yeah.
we're going to work very hard on the cruise line business, and we're going to try and work something out. But I like the concept. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, sir.
We need an
The
extreme
Senate
shutdown
bill
in 6 to 10
includes
weeks.
aid that's directly tied to the airlines. And since before the pandemic,
Yeah, I don't know
Boeing
much
was
about
already suffering
H1N1
from, the
response.
losses of 737
Yeah.
Which
MAX
would be
airplanes.
interesting to compare them. Maybe we
Do
can
you
look at that
think it's
after.
appropriate to use this legislation to sort of provide them with $17 billion of aid on top of $25 billion that they could qualify for as a passenger airline, and then another $4 billion that they could qualify for as a cargo airline? Is that fair?
So the airline business is a very tough business. Over many years, it's been very, very tough. It's got everything. It's got labor. It's got very strong, powerful. You look at the cost of these airliners. Everything is tough. Very highly technological. You look at how complicated, how complex. It's got unions. It's got everything. The airline business, generally speaking, has unions. It's a very tough business. Always been a very tough business. with that being said, we have to keep our airlines going. And we're going to be using some. Now, maybe we'll take a piece of the airlines for the country, for our country, where we loan
Obama
money.
was
and we
ready
take
to
a
rock
piece.
on that,
It's
but it
all
didn't
fully
spread.
ready. We're ready to go.
I'm going to look
But
up
we
his
can do
response
that.
after
We'll end
this
up
to
with no
see
airlines,
how
so
he
we can't
dealt
do
with
that.
it.
The airline business is very vital to our country. It's a tough business. We have to understand that. So
You kept us informed, was
I mean, I
working
could
on
tell
it.
you other businesses.
I don't
that
remember
are
much about
different
the swine
kinds of
flu,
business.
really.
They're very good businesses.
I remember people
but
being very
airlines
scared
have
of it.
always been
And then it
very,
did it.
very tough. Please.
Didn't come out.
No, please. Yeah, I didn't call you. I called this gentleman.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. On Monday,
Who are you with?
did you speak with?
Who are you with?
I'm with Bloomberg.
Yeah.
Bloomberg News, Mario Park.
How's Michael doing? Good?
Mr. President, on Monday, did you speak with Chinese President
He's just
Xi
trolling
before you
people for
urged
no reason.
Americans to not blame Asian Americans for the coronavirus? We noticed that you backed off of that language. I know you're speaking with him again
No, I didn't. I'm
tonight.
speaking to him tonight. It's scheduled to go tonight. I'll have a call with President Xi of China. Very good relationship. No, I didn't like when they came up, and it wasn't him. Somebody at a lower level, mid-level, we found out pretty much. But they made a statement that our soldiers brought it into China. No, it came from China. And, you know, we just signed a very big deal with China. They're paying us a lot of money in tariffs and other things. They never paid us 10 cents. Look, China has taken advantage of the United States until I came here with Sleepy Joe Biden and Obama and Bush and everybody else. I'm not blaming them. I'm blaming
Sister got swine
everybody.
flu.
They were allowed to.
I knew some people who got swine flu.
$500
It was just
billion
the flu.
a year they were taking out.
But-
we had trade deficits that were so large, nobody's ever seen anything like it. And we've changed it. Look, now we're taking in billions of dollars, and we gave some to our farmers
Joe
because
Biden,
China,
20
you know, they targeted our farmers. And our farmers are very happy, and our farmers got through a very rough period because of what I was able to do. Took the money from China and gave it to the farmers, and we had plenty left over after that. Now we're going into a
What
phase
does this
two
have
negotiation
anything to
with
do
China.
with anything?
But we're getting 25% on $250 billion, and then we're getting a lot on money after that. So we've never had a deal with China. China took advantage of the United States. And you know what? I don't blame China for that. I blame the people that were right here because they should have never
He's just like
allowed it
settling
to happen.
scores.
But the relationship with China has
bragging.
been a very good one, John.
He just can't.
Mr. President, did President Xi ask you to calm that language down or to not use that?
He never asked me to comment on it. No. Somebody might have spoken to somebody, but nobody spoke to me about it. I think it was time, though, because, you know, I talk about the Chinese virus, and I mean it. That's where it came from. You know, if you look at Ebola, if you look at all Lyme, right, Lyme, Connecticut, you look at all these different horrible diseases, they seem to come with the name with the location. And this was the Chinese virus. But
Yeah, you
I don't
cannot.
have to say it if they feel so strongly about it.
Just
We'll
watching
see.
it is like,
But you know, we
what's
have
he gonna say?
we
It
just
is
made a
very
great deal with China. Great,
addicting
hopefully for
to
both
watch him
parties.
talk.
But we made a deal with China, and we're going to do another one. It looks like they want to do it very badly. Maybe they'll want to wait, like Iran. They want to wait to see whether or not Trump gets beaten in the election, because would they love to negotiate with Biden or somebody else other than me? They would love it. That's their best dream in the world. So many others. So there are some that maybe are, you know, waiting till after November 3rd, the election day. But I think we're doing very well. It would be sad if we blew all of the advantages that we have right now, because we've made unbelievable trade deals, whether it's Mexico, Canada, Japan, South Korea, China, and others. We have changed the whole thing around. Please.
Mr. President, earlier today, you sent a notification letter to the nation's governors saying that you will soon come out with new guidelines about social distancing and other items. Do you have any data yet to suggest which specific areas of the country may have their guidelines relaxed?
Yeah.
Which areas of the country may have their guidelines
I think
tightened?
Deborah will talk to you about that, and Tony in a few minutes. But I think we'll
I
start
wish I
talking
was
about
watching
that,
one
'cause
that
we have
had,
to open up.
Had
You
chat
can't
on
say,
it.
let's
I should find one
close.
with a chat.
People don't want to close, John. I say it again and again. The reason I do, because I want you to report it eventually.
Does Fox News have chat?
Go ahead, Steve.
How would that work without
It's his call.
Biden?
Go ahead,
Let's
Steve.
say
Talk to him whatever he wants to.
President Xi tonight, what do you want to talk to him about?
Yeah, it's his call. I mean, I'll talk to him whatever he wants to. You know, we'll have fruitful call. I think we'll have a good call tonight at 9 o'clock, please.
Is it about the virus, though, sir?
Yes, in the back. We'll be talking about that. Yeah, we'll
Says
be
Jackson.
talking about the virus.
Thank you.
Yeah, in the back first, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Despite the jobless claim numbers today, the market rallied again. It's up over 4,000 points the last 3 days,
Yeah,
marking.
record.
Yeah, the largest chart since 1931. Do you think that the economic uncertainty has passed? Given the market?
No, not yet. It hasn't passed, but it's come a long way. I think they think we're doing a really good job in terms of running this whole situation having to do with the virus. I think they feel
They
that.
value the First Amendment.
I think they feel the administration, myself and the administration,
Versus
did a really
PBS.
good job with keeping, very importantly, people informed, because there was a great fear, and a lot of good things are happening. The mortality rate is at in my opinion, you'll have to speak to Deborah, Tony, all of the others, but in my opinion, it's way, way down, and that takes a lot of fear out. You know, it's one thing to have it; it's another thing to die. You know, when I first got involved, I was being told numbers that were much, much higher than the number that seems to be. And remember that people that have it, many people have it. I just spoke to 2 people. They had it. They never went to a doctor. They had it, absolutely had it, but they never went to a doctor. They never went to anything. They didn't report it. You have thousands and hundreds of thousands of cases like that. So you have to add that to the caseload also. And the people that actually die, that percentage is a much lower percentage than I ever thought. That's one of the reasons I say, look, we're going to beat this and we're
It's
going
all
to get back to
Q
work.
stuff.
Yes, please.
Administration today, the DOJ announced charges against Nicolas Maduro for drug trafficking. They designate him as a
Sounds
narco-terrorist.
appropriate.
It's also expected that Venezuela's going to get hit really hard by the coronavirus. Does the administration see this as a weak point for the
Well,
Maduro
no,
regime? You might-
we don't look at a weak point. This is a serious problem for
Bioweapon.
over 150 nations, the virus. I would say this, Maduro and Venezuela, we're watching it very closely. We'll see what happens. But that is correct. Those charges were made. Please.
You said a moment ago that you used the Defense Production Act on 2 minor occasions.
Yeah.
What were those?
We will
again?
give you that notification. We'll let you know. Okay?
Can I follow up on John's question about the classifying for counties? A lot of these areas have not done testing yet. Is it safe to say that the current guidelines will be extended into next week? Will you wait to change those guidelines until you have the data yet left?
I want those guidelines to go even when we're open and fully operational. And frankly, much of the guidelines, like shaking hands, maybe people aren't going to be shaking hands anymore. You know, Tony had mentioned
think
to
so?
me, Tony Fauci, the other day
Think
that
that
I don't think
nobody
he
will
was
shake
would be
hands
too
anymore?
upset with the concept of not shaking hands. He was saying that the flu would cut down, the regular flu would be cut down by quite a bit if we didn't do that, if we didn't shake hands. You know, the regular flu, of which, you know, you have a lot of deaths and a lot of problems with that too. So I think a lot of great things are going to, when we're open, just
What
so,
was
just
that?
to finish, when we're
What-
open,
the question wasn't
as soon
even
as we open,
about
that
that.
doesn't mean you're going to stop with the guidelines. You'll still try and distance yourself, maybe not to the same extent because you have to lead a life. But I think the time is coming. How about one more question? Go ahead, in the back, please.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Go ahead,
President.
please.
I also have 2 questions because I'm asking on behalf of foreign press as well. So one domestic question, one international. Domestically, you just tweeted the other day saying that it's very important that we totally protect Asian Americans.
Yes, I do. Very important to me.
But still millions.
Very important to me. We have to protect our Asian Americans. It's a very important. That was a very important tweet to me because I didn't like things that I was hearing. Please go ahead.
Well, what's the concrete measure that you're taking to combat the hate crimes against Asians?
Well, I don't know. All I know is this. Asian Americans in our country are doing fantastically well. I'm very close to them, as you know, and they're doing fantastically well, and I think they appreciate the job we're doing. But I did want to put that statement out, the social media statement.
Congresswoman, let me ask you before we let you go. You are
a great part of our country. Thank you all very much. We'll see you soon. Thank you.
I've got 2 questions for you, Mr. President. On your guidance of county by county, how does that work, Mr. President? Will people be able to go from county to county if it's high risk and low risk?
Well, good afternoon, everyone. The White House Coronavirus Task Force met today.
Look, they're
We continue
social
to move out
distancing
on
now,
President
kind of.
Trump's directive to slow the spread. with mitigation.
Do I self-identify
to
as Asian
advance and
American?
expand
Yeah, I
testing
do.
across the country, and to work
Not-
on the
not a
critical
lot.
supplies
Mildly.
that our healthcare
I'm
workers
half,
in
you
our
know.
nation needs. Today, the president convened the nation's governors, all of the states and
I know, she was just shouting
territories,
out.
and reiterated to them that with FEMA in the lead, our approach is, our response to the coronavirus in this country is locally executed.
Yeah.
Healthcare workers.
This is how they're doing it.
Local public health officials.
They're
It
gonna
is
say that-
state managed, and it is
They're
federally
basically going to
supported.
be like
We took the
every
opportunity
state
to
can do their
thank,
own thing.
all of the governors across the country, our states and territories.
Which
for
isn't
the
bad.
Incredible leadership and the partnership they've forged with this administration. We were able to confirm that 10 major disaster declarations have been issued, most recently to New Jersey, North Carolina, Florida, Texas, and Illinois. We spoke to them about the importance of the economic recovery legislation that will come before the House of Representatives, we believe, tomorrow midday. And we're grateful for their efforts in working for that unanimous bipartisan vote in the United States Senate last night. In addition to direct payments for American families, the average family of 4 will receive a direct payment of some $3,400. They'll also receive payroll report. Many of the small businesses, even those restaurants that you just spoke about,
They just
will
made
now
it
be
against
able
the
to
law
keep
here if you don't
people on the
self-isolate
payroll
coming
for a
back from
period
somewhere.
of months,
You get a 70,
even if the
750K
restaurant or
fine
the
or 6
business
months in
is
jail.
not
Wow.
open.
Where are you in
With the governors,
Canada?
though, we talked about the $150 billion in direct aid to the states, $100 billion in direct assistance to hospitals, and of course, the expansion of unemployment benefits to make sure that our states have the resources to meet the challenges.
I've been reading more about the
that were so
stimulus bill. It
evident
really
in
just
those
doesn't seem like a
unemployment
good
numbers
thing
this
at
morning.
all.
On the subject of
Really
testing,
feels like a
I'm pleased to
corporate
report
giveaway
that
again.
testing is available in all 50 states. And in partnership with commercial labs across America, this morning we received word that 552,000 tests have been performed and completed all across the United States. We want to thank the American Hospital Association and hospitals
Getting those
across the
tests up.
country that
I wanna get a
are
test.
just now beginning to report in a fulsome way the
I wonder if I can
results
get
of
a
those
test now.
tests. When the president signs the law tomorrow, it'll actually be required by law. But as Dr. Birx and Dr. Fauci have explained many times at this podium, it's so important that any hospital or any lab that's doing testing report back to the CDC.
Buy some
and
Jordans.
FEMA so
I
we
mean,
have full
I
visibility.
guess you're stimulating the
to
economy.
provide the president with the very
I don't
best
know, just to
counsel.
see if I have it. You know, a lot of people.
Good news today on testing. Abbott Laboratories.
A lot of people
submitted to
don't
the
have any
FDA
symptoms.
Today,
And like
a
I have
request
had
for
like a
approval
stuffy
of
nose on and off, and
point-of-care test.
I just can't tell if
This
that's
would be
like
the kind of
allergies
test
or
where
not.
You could go to your doctor. You could get the test done there at your doctor and have the results in no more than 15
Right,
minutes.
I felt fine.
Dr. Steve Hahn will be here tomorrow to talk about progress in evaluating Abbott Laboratories.
Oh, so there's a new
care test.
point
Also,
of care test.
speaking of
okay.
the FDA, on the subject of swabs, the FDA did announce earlier this week that testing symptomatic patients by swabbing from the front of the nose is perfectly appropriate, and it's already begun
More
across
needed.
the country. It allows for self-collection, and it also relieves the burden on healthcare protection. It saves
Right.
personal protection.
Yeah, I've had
equipment
like a
from being
stuffy nose,
expended,
right?
and
And I'm
people
like,
can administer a test
by
themselves.
going to pick up my laundry, am I
Dr. Birx
getting
will
people
speak
sick?
about the importance and the availability of swabs. With regard to supplies, you heard the president speak about what we have already shipped out from the National Strategic Stockpile.
Yeah,
9 million N95 masks. for
Single
healthcare
people
workers,
get
20 million surgical masks.
$1,200, I think.
6,000 ventilators and millions of gloves and gowns
one
and
per
face
person.
shields. In addition to that, we are working with a number of suppliers to manufacture ventilators, even while we work with state leaders.
just shut the
to
world
assess
down
not
for 2
just
weeks when
what
no one would have
ventilators are
dared to. I
available
don't
in their
know.
state hospitals, but
You mean the
what
entire
ventilators
world?
are available in private
How would they
hospitals
shut down like
across their
the
state.
entire world at
And
once?
Governors across the country are doing
I don't know
great
when the
work
money's coming. It must be
evaluating
coming
the full
soon, though,
supply
because
of
everybody's
tens of
out of work.
thousands of
Everybody needs
ventilators
it
that are
now.
available. Let me also say thank you to the American Society of Anesthesiologists.
Nope.
And,
I think it's a
Dr.
one-time
Mary
payment.
Peterson. The American Society of Anesthesiologists actually produced a video. Tomorrow they will host a webinar for healthcare workers to demonstrate how the devices that anesthesiologists use can be very easily converted into a ventilator that's appropriate for a patient struggling with respiratory ailment like the coronavirus. And we're very grateful. This actually adds tens of thousands of devices to the supply, and we're all truly grateful to Dr. Peterson and the whole association for their full cooperation. With 5 of 10 counties in the country being the top
I'm just watching for Fauci.
counties for coronavirus being in the New York City metropolitan
Anyone with
area,
any
let
sense
us
has been taking
reiterate our
steps to better their current
recommendation
health.
that,
Right.
that any resident of the greater
Drinking
New
a lot
York
more
City
water.
area who has traveled elsewhere in the
Wearing
United
gloves
States,
outside.
please check your temperature, mind your health,
I've
and self-isolate for 14
I have
days.
too.
What we don't want, again,
I was smoking a little
with
bit.
5 of the top
At
10
the end of the year, I started
counties for
smoking.
coronavirus
I quit
being in the
smoking.
greater New York City area. We don't want anyone, and no one would want to, inadvertently carry the coronavirus to a community or to a family member inadvertently because they've come out of that
Get it in
community.
your
So again,
eyes?
as Dr. Fauci said recently,
Is that true?
if you've come out of New York over the last several weeks, before the mitigation measures are put into effect, in particular, check your temperature, mind your health, and self-isolate for 14 days. It is inspiring as I prepare to introduce Dr. Birx to talk about the data that we're monitoring on a regular basis.
Trump did not
and
fully.
Dr. Fauci
Yeah. Well, he didn't.
talk
He's
about
not doing anything. He
mitigation.
just sent out a tweet.
Let me conclude by saying how inspiring it is to see the way America and the American people are
When
responding
am I buying
to
with my
this moment.
checks?
We all were awakened this morning with record unemployment numbers.
I don't know. I might just
Not
save it.
unexpected during the time of national crisis that we are facing.
You
But
know,
what you may not know,
things aren't looking too hot in
is
the
that
economy
while
right
there
now.
were some 3 million plus new unemployment claims, Walmart announced they're hiring 150,000 new associates through the end of May. Amazon, a few weeks back, announced they're hiring 100,000 additional warehouse employees to meet a growing demand at Amazon for online purchases. CVS Health is going to provide bonuses to their employees working with patients and hire 50,000 workers. And Pizza Hut, I'm told, is planning to hire more than 30,000
Donate to ICE. Yeah,
employees.
I'll give it to
And
my.
that's
I'll
just
give
a
out my
short
check to ICE.
Summary of a list that totals almost 500,000 jobs that have been
Pizza
announced
Hut
by businesses
is hiring. I
around
went to the
America.
supermarket and
It's
ski
not
mask
just been
and
about
face mask,
jobs,
and
it's
people,
been
you know,
about
looking at me like
generosity.
I'm being over the top.
Anheuser-Busch is making a $5
I haven't
million
started wearing a mask
donation
yet,
to the
but
American Red Cross
maybe I
to
should.
support
Lauren wants me
first
to.
responders. OYO
Life's
Hotels
too
is
short to
offering
save it.
doctors,
I'm cashing
nurses,
out
and
at the
first
strip club.
responders free rooms at any of
Okay.
their 300 hotels all across
Data.
America.
I
And the
said
pharmaceutical
data.
company AbbVie is actually donating $25 million to the International Medical Corps and to Feeding America. American businesses are stepping up to partner with us to meet this moment, but they're being incredibly generous as well to all of those that are stepping in the lead and
All right.
providing healthcare services and, of course, to those most in need. We can do this, America, but it'll take all of us. As the president often says, we're all in this together. But as millions of
Will I
Americans
continue
do their
streams after the
part,
quarantine is lifted?
with 15 days to slow the spread, putting into practice the president's
I hope so.
guidelines
This has been
for
fun.
combating the coronavirus.
I mean, it's a lot of
and
time,
its
you know,
spread,
but
we grow more
I'm
confident
having
every day
fun.
that this too shall pass, with the cooperation and generosity and
sort of
prayers
getting more into a rhythm
of the
now.
American
I
people.
think. Figuring
I
it
just
out.
know that we will slow the spread, we will protect our most vulnerable, and we will heal our land.
That's
And now for information.
will heal our
latest on
land. That's
data,
his,
what we're seeing, Dr. Deborah Birx.
That's his catchphrase at all these. We will
Mr.
heal our
Vice
land.
President.
It's a very like
So, just
video
as a
game.
summary of where it looks domestically, I won't talk so much about the global issues at this time. We do have 19 out of our 50 states, to be reminded, that had early cases but have persistently low level of cases, and at this point have less than 200 cases. So that's almost 40% of the country with extraordinarily low numbers, and they are testing. Some of our governors have been very adamant about their need for test kits. We have gotten them test kits. When we had Abbott add about a week ago to the test kits, we've been able to open up additional
card is
test
just
kits
his-
for
the
for states that
guidelines
want to do surveillance
for,
and want
what to
do
do- how to-
contact tracing.
how to prevent
These
the spread
19
that
states are
we're
doing
supposed to do.
still active containment. They're at 200 cases despite the fact that they've been measuring them over the last 3 to 4 weeks. Still, though, 55% of all
This.
cases and 55% of all new cases continue out of the New York metro area.
Did you get this in the
That's
mail?
The New Jersey part
Everybody
and
got
New
this in the
York
mail.
part in particular.
I did.
I haven't added in Connecticut or other counties at this point. We are concerned about certain counties that look like they're having a more rapid increase. When you look at Wayne County in Michigan and you look at Cook County in Chicago.
We're almost done with 15
so
days.
We have integrated all of our information.
I think
to
it's
not
at the
only
end of
where
this
the
week, right?
cases are today, but how they're moving, so we can alert FEMA to where we think the next potential hotspot is. All of the counties that I've mentioned, the hotspots are
We're
in
like
urban
almost
areas
15
or
days
the
in.
communities
Things
that
have
serve
not
that urban area.
gotten any better.
And I think that's something very important to remember as we move forward.
Oh, it's day 9. All right.
Because of the innovations within our private sector, we continue to have these new platforms added for laboratory testing. And these become critical platforms for states that have very low rates and very low rates needed to test. Why is that important? Some of these machines have wells and plastic plates that, in order to be effective, you have to put on about almost 96 samples.
haven't
And
even hit the
others
peak,
are made
yeah.
for 4 samples or 24 samples at a time. So what's critical for us to be able to do is to match the need to the county and state. And that's the role that we can provide advice on, because we get to see across the whole country.
I haven't spoken to
and
another
where those
human in 8
items
months.
are
Sometimes that's how I
utilized.
feel.
And so this
I
is
wasn't
allowing
really.
us to adapt and
I didn't have like a super
really
thriving social life
allocation
before
of
this, but
tests or recommendations
I'm actually having
to
more
state
human
of what piece
contact
of
now, I
equipment
think,
they
than
may
during
need.
the.
Of the 550,000 tests, you can do the math, but we're still running somewhere about 14% overall. That means 86% of the people with significant symptoms, because remember, you had to have a fever and symptoms to get tested at this point. So still 86% are negative. These are really important facts for the American people. I'm sure many of you saw the recent report out of the UK about them adjusting completely their needs. This is really quite important. If you remember, that was the report that said there would be 500,000 deaths in the UK and 2.2 million deaths in the United States. They've adjusted that number in the
Antisocials are
UK
flourishing
to
right now.
20,000.
You were the socialite before the quarantine?
500,000 to 20,000. We're looking into this in great detail to understand that
You
adjustment.
found toilet paper. Where?
I'm going to say something that's a little bit complicated, but I'm going to try to do it in a way that we can all understand it together.
Walgreens.
In the model,
Okay.
either you have
I'm
to
gonna go
have
check Walgreens
a
after
large
this.
group
I actually don't
of
need it,
people
but-
who are asymptomatic, who've never presented for any test, in order to have the kind of numbers that were predicted.
I want to hear this.
To get to 60 million people infected, or 6 million people infected, you have to have a large group of asymptomatics, because in no country to date have we seen an attack rate over 1 in 1,000. So either we're only measuring the tip of the iceberg of the symptomatic cases, and underneath it are a large group of people. So we're working very hard to get that antibody test, because that's a good way to figure out who are all these people under here and do they exist. Or we have the transmission completely wrong. So these are the things we're looking at, because the predictions of the models don't match the reality on the ground in either China, South Korea, or Italy. We are about 5 times the size of Italy. So if we were Italy and you did all those divisions, Italy should have close to 400,000 deaths. They're not close to achieving that. So these are the kinds of things we're trying to understand. Models are models. We're adapting now to the reality. There's enough data now of the real
Fauci's
experience
still better
of
than
the
her.
coronavirus on the ground to really make these predictions much more sound.
They sort
So
of
when
deal
people
with
start
different
talking
stuff, though.
about 20% of a population getting infected, it's very scary. But we don't have data that matches that based on the experience. And then finally, the situation about ventilators. We were reassured in meeting with our colleagues in New York that there are still ICU beds remaining, and there's still significant over 1,000 or 2,000 ventilators that have not been utilized yet.
Okay.
Please, for the reassurance of people around the world, to wake up this morning and look at people talking about creating DNR situations, do not resuscitate situations for patients. There is no situation in the United States right now that warrants
I heard about that. That was a
kind
story in
of
the Washington
discussion.
Post.
You can be thinking about it in a hospital, certainly many hospitals talk about this on a daily basis, but to say that to the American people, to make the implication that when they need a hospital bed, it's not going to be there, or when they need that ventilator, it's not going to be there. We don't have an evidence of that right now. And it's our job collectively to assure the American people that it's our collective job to make sure that.
I don't know about that.
Right now, you can see these
We're not going to run out of ventilators?
concentrated in highly
I mean,
urban
that's
areas.
not what I've been
There are
reading.
other parts of the states that have lots of ventilators, and other parts of New York State that don't have any infections right now. So we can be creative, we can meet the need by being responsive. But there's no model right now, I mean, no reality on the ground where we can see that 60 to 70% of Americans are going to get infected in the next 8 to 12 weeks. I just want to be clear about that. So we're adapting to the reality on the ground. We're looking at the models of how they can
she's really
inform,
down. I mean, she's
but
really
we
saying it's
also
not
are
as bad
learning
as
very
everybody
clearly
thought.
From South Korea and from Italy and from Spain.
I was talking to a friend
Just
from
to
New
file,
York,
'cause I
though.
know
He
many
was
of you will
freaked
look at
out.
my numbers. The only people who are over really 1 in 1,000 cases are people that have very small populations, like Monaco and Liechtenstein. So you will see a different number coming from when your
They
population
don't really
is
cover the
really
news, the fact that
tiny.
stores and
One
hospitals are already
case
taking steps
can
to
put you
further
over
support
1
and
to
containment.
1,000 or 2 to 1,000. Thank you.
We'll do questions.
New York City, 1 in 1,000 people are infected
Thank you,
now, I
Mr. Vice
think.
President. I'm going to change the topic just a little bit because there was a questions that came up, and I've been asked about this on a couple of media interactions regarding the interventions that we're talking about. And it's important because it's about something that I said yesterday about what we would likely see. Whenever you put the clamps down and shut things down, you do it for 2 reasons. You do it to prevent the further spread, this we call mitigation, but you also do it to buy yourself time to get
Got a
better
haircut.
prepared for what might be a rebound. It may be a rebound that we get things really under control, and then you pull back, which ultimately we're going to have to do. Everybody in the world is going to have to do that. You're either going to get a rebound or it might cycle into the next season. So what are we going to do to prepare ourselves for that? One of the most important things is one that I mentioned several times from this podium, and that is to clarify a bit about the timeline for vaccines. And would that have any real impact on what we would call a rebound or what we would call a cycling in the season? Certainly, for sure, a vaccine is not going to help us now, next month, the month after. But as I mentioned to you, we went into a phase 1 trial, and I keep referring to one vaccine. There's more than one. There's a couple of handfuls of vaccines at different
I know,
stages
he's got quite a
of
voice, huh?
development.
Rarely
But they're all
raspy.
following the same course. And the course is you first go into a phase 1 trial
A lot
to
of
see if
essential
it's safe,
stores
and you
have
have
glass
very
screens
few
in front of
people,
the cash.
45 people,
Yeah.
within a certain age group, all
I
healthy,
saw that at the
none
at the
at
hospital,
really
I
any
was
great
at.
risk of getting
To
infected.
stand behind a
And the reason you do that, because you want to
plate.
make sure that it's safe. Then the next thing you do, and that takes about 3 months, easily, maybe more. So that's going to bring us into the beginning or middle of the summer. Then you go to a phase 2 trial, or what we say 2-3, which means we're going to put a lot of people in there. Now, we hope that there aren't a lot of people getting infected, but it is likely there will be somewhere in the world where that's going on.
Making me
So it's
like have to
likely that
clear
we will
my
get
throat.
what's called an efficacy signal, and we will know whether or not it actually works. If in fact it does, we hope
Who is
to
this
Russia
guy?
to be able to
This
have
is
some impact
Anthony Fauci.
on
He's like a
recycling in the next season. And like I said, that
doctor.
could be a year to a year and a
Is he
half.
with
I'm not
CDC?
changing any of the dates that I mentioned. But one of the things that we are going to do that you need to understand that has been a stumbling block for previous development of vaccines, and that is even before you know something works, at risk, you have to start producing it. Because once you know it works, you can't say, great, it works. Now, give me another 6 months to produce it. So we're working with a variety of companies to take that risk. We didn't take it with Zika. That's why, we have a nice Zika vaccine, but we don't have enough to do it because there's no Zika around. Same with SARS. So that's one of the things we're really going to push on, is to be able to have it ready if, in fact, it works. Now, the issue of safety, something that I want to make sure the American public understand.
it's not only safety when you inject somebody and they get maybe an idiosyncratic
I don't really know,
reaction.
actually.
They get a little allergic
I'll
reaction.
look it up.
They get pain.
I have a nice one, though.
There's safety associated. Does the vaccine make you worse? And there are diseases in which you vaccinate someone. They get infected with what you're trying to protect them with, and you actually enhance the infection. You can get a good feel for that in animal models.
That would be bad.
So that's going to be interspersed at the same time that we're testing. We're going to try and make sure we don't have enhancement. So the worst possible thing you could do is vaccinate somebody to prevent infection and actually make them worse.
Yeah, no shit.
Next, and finally, with regard, I'll get you to your question. Finally, with regard to therapies. I mean, we
AIDS?
keep
Did
getting
that
asked
happen with
about
AIDS?
therapies. There's a whole menu of therapies that are going into clinical trial. As I've told you all, and I'll repeat it again, the best way to get the best drug as quickly as possible is to do a randomized controlled trial so that you know, is it safe and is it effective? If it's not effective, get it off the board and go to the next thing. If it is effective, get it out to the people that need it. So you're going to be hearing over the next month or more about different drugs that are going to go into these randomized controlled trials. And I feel confident knowing about what this virus is and what we can do with it, that we will have some sort of therapy that give
Yeah,
at
he's
least
got a very
partial, if
good
not a very
bedside
good
manner, as they
protection
say.
in preventing
he's
progression
very
of disease. And we'll be
forthright.
back here talking
He's
about
honest.
that a lot, I'm sure. Thank you.
Has anyone asked about mental health? I don't know.
The idea of risk in drug manufacture, are you saying that at some point in the phase 2 trials, that if you're seeing some form of efficacy, that you may try to convince a laboratory to spool up?
Oh yeah, see, he's got a.
There's
He just
Even
put.
before, even before.
He's got a sore throat.
When I go
Maybe he's
into
got
phase
it.
2, I'm going to find somebody that's going to make it. Well, partially the federal.
I mean, it's
government.
definitely
I think
mental
in
health
some
is definitely a
respects to
big,
de-risk it, but also
big
investments by
issue.
the
I mean, I've been
companies.
feeling
A lot
not
of
totally
companies
great.
are not shy now about doing that. Usually, when you do that at risk, John, you got to give some backup for them, and we've done that. We've put hundreds of millions of dollars into companies to try and make vaccines. I wouldn't hesitate to do that for a moment now.
On the county issue, talk about having low risk, medium risk, and high risk counties. Or for Dr. Burks. But there's no domestic travel restrictions. What's to prevent somebody from a high risk county going to a low risk
All right,
county?
nice gift
Don't
there.
you risk creating a
Thank you.
patchwork system?
What's up, quiet
allowing
swimmer?
more cases to slip through the cracks and the virus to spread in other areas of the country?
I think this is a very important concept, and it's why we've really worked on messaging to the American people about these 15 days to stop the spread. Because part of this will be the need to have highly responsible behavior between counties. And I think the American
Stay
people
home.
can understand that they will understand.
Yeah, living alone will be
where the
real hard,
virus
to be
is,
fair.
because we'll have the testing data and where it isn't, and make sure that they're.
You've been
taking
extra sad? I'm
appropriate
sorry to hear that,
precautions
man.
as they move in and out of spaces. I think.
Why? Just
this will be
staying home?
critical for our future as we work together to really understand where the virus is and where it isn't in real time.
Dr. Burks, let me just follow up on sort of your modeling. Everyone's talking about this Neil Ferguson study out of Imperial and how the modeling's changed. You last week said, or it was on Monday, that you talked about a serology test. Something
So lonely.
possibly
What,
coming out of
being
Singapore.
inside?
Where are we on a serology test? The president said very quickly. And then is that what you need
Yeah.
to do some sort of community
I mean, it's
survey
the
so you
uncertainty
can get
is
to some
gets
of
me
these
too. Like, when's it gonna end? What's it gonna be like when it's over?
So we're talking to CDC right now. They
I don't
are
like that.
extraordinary in outbreaks and contact tracing. So they are going to be the workforce behind any new strategy.
Yeah,
that
I mean,
looks
we got
at
it. We got it. We're all here.
completely move into
Nobody's
containment
got coronavirus yet.
contact tracing. But part of what they're looking at now is where are these antibody assays? To be clear, there is antibody assays available right now, but they're by ELISA. And what we're trying to do
Asymptomatic,
is
okay.
not just do ELISAs, because they can use that now. but
Waiting
to
for
be
live
able to
leak videos
have
of people
point
getting
of
attacked
care
for
rapid
coughing.
diagnostics like
I
we
know.
have with HIV, where you just get a drop of blood.
I'm nervous to go outside because I always have a cough, you know.
If you're positive or negative. So that's what companies are working on. Yes, correct. That's the IgG to measure. Now remember, that's not going to be helpful in diagnosis. That's going to be helpful for us to know how many asymptomatic.
You get ketamine infusions for your depression?
Or-
Wow, really?
Figuring out what the
That's-
asymptomatic rates are.
that
because
sucks,
seems
man.
to be the big question here.
It
on
is
where
a
we
big
are on the
question.
iceberg.
I know someone who has like
Very
really
big
bad
question.
depression
So we have
and they
people,
want
the
to
FDA
get
is working on
ketamine.
that
Does that
around
work?
the clock. They do have applications that are coming in. We put out a call for applications. I've been talking about it from this podium. If you have an IgG
Change your
assay,
world, wow.
Rapid test, not an ELISA. I mean, you could do the ELISA.
When's the
today
haircut?
because
I don't know. I'm
SARS
still negotiating with
original
Lauren about
SARS
it.
Antigens react very
She says
well
that she
to
likes
the
my hair
current
long.
COVID-19 antibodies that people have, but we're really working on that, both so that we could have therapeutics that could be plasma derived. So thank you. Yes, we're very much focused on that.
How soon will you be able to
My internet's
classify
dying.
counties? Because there's a lot of testing that has not been done yet.
Well, you know, there are states, and I just want to really recognize state and local health officials that behind all of this have continued to test. And have continued to do surveillance. So we do.
I'm getting some
doing
some bad lag here. I don't know what's up with my internet right now.
Have been doing contact tracing all along. It never gets reported because it's not, you know, it's not that exciting that they've identified 10 cases. But there are states doing that and have been doing it throughout this entire outbreak, and that's why we have some confidence that that testing has been going on.
I don't know what's up with my internet right now. Sorry, guys.
But this is that, we talked about a
Type
little
one
bit
in the chat if you
the
can see.
flu platform. So the flu platform is driven off of emergency rooms and hospitals reporting flu.
They're throttling me to silence me. I can see you on my phone, but I can't.
And that then
oh,
will
here we go.
trigger the individuals to get tested. So we have a platform that states and local governments are
Oops, RAM memory. No, I have plenty of RAM.
approach rather than a
I have plenty of RAM. My computer
I
is
think in the 21st century
loaded.
we should be able to get to that. Why am I confident that we can do that? Because we do that in sub-Saharan Africa right now for HIV. That's how we're stopping the epidemic there. So we've done it. We've done it in resource-limited settings.
Okay.
So I do believe we can transpose that approach here to the United States and be able to have, we have granular data down
They're
to
doing
a
contact
GPS
tracing, they
coordinate
say.
of a site of a clinic and hospital.
That's the way they're gonna
think
kill
that
it.
same
Contact
thing-
tracing, which is basically like finding everybody who came in contact with.
Would you suggest restrictions to states for something like that? Like, if there is a high-risk county and, you know, the restaurants are open in a low-risk county, wouldn't your fear be that people in that high-risk county go over to the restaurants?
So
that
these are
open in?
dialogues that the federal government has to have with state and local
Africans or their
governments
guinea
because
pigs.
state
I
and
mean,
local governments
sadly,
have
that's sort of how it
and that's
how
what's
it
been inspirational
tends to
to
run.
me of seeing how much the governors understand where they are in their epidemic and what they will need to do in the future. This is what we're trying to tailor. It requires us to have very clear data disaggregation at the county and state level, but I think you've been hearing from us, these outbreaks and clusters, we've been able to very well define to date. The one that was in King County, the one that is now in New York City, the one in New Orleans, the one in Wayne County. So,
What?
and we can
You're gonna
see
kill everyone with the
that
virus?
spread throughout the region, and those
That's
closely
fucked,
related
man. They're not
counties. So
gonna
this
do
is
that.
what we're talking about, how to do surveillance, how to
They
do
need to just
contact
find
tracing, and how to do each of these
surveillance.
items to
That's
make
what they
sure
need.
that you prevent that spread.
What's your timeline, do you think?
We need to be able to
What's your timeline for implementing guidance like this?
test
Well,
everybody,
we have to get all of our data
trace
together. We
all
owe it
their
to the
contacts,
president.
and figure
And
out
we owe it to
who
the
might have
president
had
to be
it
able
once
to
they
make
got
that
it.
decision. So that's what we're working on.
But that's a
is
lot.
getting
That takes
that
a lot of
granularity.
testing,
All right, guys, last question.
a lot of control.
I'll go to John for a second. I can speak to that, though. The president sent a letter to all the governors today indicating that, as every American recognizes, that the importance of 15 days to slow the spread, that we're approaching day 15. And what the president told the governors, that we're going to listen to
Moises
the
Kimberly
very best
Faith,
health
nice.
experts in the world. We're going to examine
Project
that
Eagle Eye already sees
data
where
very
everyone goes
carefully,
anyways.
and
Well,
we'll
I
be
don't know what that
presenting,
is.
this weekend, the president, a range of recommendations and additional guidance for going forward. The president's made it clear that, in his words, he wants to open the country up, but we're going to do that responsibly And as the president told the governors today, we'll do that based on the data. John, one last one.
Mr. Vice President?
I'll go to John, a little slip away.
Unless there was a last-minute glitch, we should probably see Phase 3 pass the House tomorrow.
Yes.
Already, there are many members who were talking about the need for a Phase 4. Do you see the need for a Phase 4, and if so, what do you think should be addressed in it?
Well, first, let me just say again how grateful the president and I know governors across the country are for the extraordinary bipartisan work that's been done on Capitol Hill. Not just in the bill that will be taken up by the House of Representatives tomorrow, but in legislation last week that extended paid family leave, free coronavirus testing to every American, made sure that all the agencies at every level of the federal government had the resources to meet.
That strikes me as a yes man. Yeah, he's not going to
really
answer
been a
that.
very
He's going to say,
inspiring
I don't know. We will have
Well,
to.
The president's made clear to our governors, we're going to do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
And already, we're hearing from some governors about the need for additional resources.
Oh, okay.
And we will evaluate those
I
very
mean,
carefully.
California,
I think the Secretary of the
New York and
Treasury has
California
already
both
indicated-
say that
and,
it's not enough
congressional
aid for
leadership
them.
has already indicated a willingness to remain open to
We're gonna
that.
lose so
And the
much
American
money.
People, the American people know we're all in this
I know.
together.
Both Trump
And the
hates both
unity
of
that we
those,
see on Capitol
both of
Hill, the
those
unity,
states. So
that this president has
no
marshaled
surprise.
governors all across this country and our states and territories will continue to drive forward. We're going to make sure the people on the front lines are healthcare workers and the people that are serving them. Make sure our state governments, make sure every agency of the federal government have everything we need to put the health of America first. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Thank you all.
From you, Mr. Vice President?
Who's the wise guy?
I just have a clarification. The president says the DPA has been used twice.
Somebody say, who's the wise guy? Did you hear that? Oh, that's it. Did she give me a haircut? No, she, I don't know if I'm gonna get a haircut. She said she likes my hair short. And, I mean, likes it long. Woo! She said she likes it long. And it's getting long now. You see how? Getting pretty long now. Beep. So maybe I'll just grow it out. Alex sucks dick on Facebook Live. What's that mean? Go to Compton or East LA. How's the book coming along? Dude, just give me some time, alright? I'm working on it. I'm already stressed. Show Puff. You guys want to see Puff? He's sleeping now, though. I don't really want to wake him up. Maybe I can go check. He's doing good today. So barber in college, you'll cut it for me. All right, do it. Come over. Can you cut it? Can you cut it? From 6 feet away. I write like George R.R. Martin. You mean like best-selling, multi-million-dollar blockbusters? Is that what you mean? You mean that my book is going to be turned into a best-selling or a critically acclaimed, monumental, epic HBO show? Is that what you mean? Because in that case, yes, I am very basically George R.R. Martin. How much longer before extroverts start getting mental illness for being isolated so long? I don't know. Like somebody in here said, introverts are sort of thriving in this time. I don't know if thriving is the exact word, but I think people who spend a lot of time alone, like me, like probably a lot of you guys, are better equipped maybe to handle the stress of the situation. But I definitely know some people, like, I was talking to a friend in New York today, and he's a guy who, like, loves to just see a lot of people. He's always out and about. Every time I see him, he's like, you know, we hang out for a couple hours, and he's like, oh, I gotta go see somebody else, and then he's out. He said that he likes, on the weekends, he likes to see, like, you know, 5 different people, 6 different people. So I think he is really kind of stressed out about being trapped in his house, and he was like being seemed like he was pretty scared. New York City right now. I don't know, anybody in here in New York City, from New York City? I think New York City is pretty grim right now. You know, they had 100 deaths today. People don't want to go outside. There was this really scary article that I read about, oh, I lost you guys again, about the hospital going up. You've spent a month without going outside before? What were you doing for a month? I'm getting some lag again. What were you doing for a month inside? Let me see if I can get it on my phone. I don't know what's up with my internet. Greenland. What about Greenland? Oh, 7 cases at your local hospital? Sold my stocks today after the 3rd day in a row they went up, hoping to buy lower. Well, that's cool. Did you make a lot of money? Wait, I want to hear from Sharp Ranger. Why were you inside for a month? You actually didn't leave the house? You there? Still a little bit. Did you make a lot of money on your stocks? I have no stocks. I would I'll just surf the internet all day long. Always something interesting on the internet. But didn't you have to, like, you didn't want to go to your friend's house, or you didn't have to go to work or school, or you literally didn't leave your house for a month? How did you eat? I could do social distancing for Darth X Nil over here says he could do social distancing for the rest of his life. So we got a lot of, like, loners here. I don't know. I'm getting really antsy. I just want to. I realize it's not really seeing friends, which I like. It's more just like being around strangers. Like, I like to just be in a crowd of people, or in a coffee shop, in a restaurant with other people. Like, it's just comforting to be around other people. And I know I'm very happy that I'm not all alone. I'm glad, very thankful that Lauren's here. I have my friend Jesse, who is staying with me throughout this whole, has been staying with me. But I don't know what it'd be like. Is anyone here locked down and totally alone? I did know that Fauci has been since Reagan. They said that he I read a profile of him that they said that he was the one who helped get Reagan serious about AIDS, you know, because Reagan was very dismissive about AIDS, and Fauci was the one who sort of got him live alone, work from home now. How is that? Is that lonely? That must be lonely. I mean, I worked from home, I lived alone, and, you know, when I wouldn't see anybody for days on end, it got very lonely. Well, I'm sorry, Beep. I guess you can watch a lot of streams though, huh? You play games to keep busy? I like to read, I like to play games, watch TV. After 10 days, I went back to work office, home office, not for me. You have to have like a sort of certain disposition to be okay with working alone. I feel lonely around people because I have a hard time fitting in. Yeah, I get that, but I guess like I feel like that maybe. I don't really feel that. I like being around people. I feel anxious sometimes, but I really like to just be around people. Gunner, shouts outs from Southern California. Yeah, man. You in LA or what? Welcome to lockdown. Lockdown City, USA. Population us. Watch a ton of scripted drama shows. What are you watching? I don't really watch a lot of TV. I've been watching Watchmen. You guys watch Watchmen? That's a great show. I'm almost done with it. And I've been watching Twin Peaks. It's an old one, but... Oh, you're in the San Bernardino Mountains. Okay. Hiding out from the coronavirus out there. You watch Housewives? Really? I've never watched Housewives, but I have a lot of friends who are very into Housewives. The Outsider. Yeah. You want to watch Watchmen? Well, maybe you can find it online somewhere. I mean, now's the time to get HBO while you're stuck inside. We watched that shit. Yeah, my ex watched a lot of Housewives. She watched every single one. I've never seen an episode. You've had 3 cases up there? Yikes. Oh, so what I wanted to do for a second was look at Obama's... I wanted to look up Obama's flowers. Oh, I like her. Olivia Colman. This is good.
Now, what we're about to tell you may seem like an awful, awful thing, and in almost every sense, it is. We've done such a good job with the twins.
Oh, I like that guy, too.
Don't shoot family! Everyone knows that! It's a good sign that they still want to live at home, even though they're 25. I mean, we're good parents, aren't we?
Freak!
I hope you didn't get me anything. So hard to be a feminist.
Well, that guy's from,
parents, isn't it?
High five, we are friends. Get away from me.
I was going to ask if perhaps you wanted to sleep in here with me tonight.
Yeah. Maybe.
It's lovely that you two are such good
That looks pretty good. I'll watch this. It's the guy from Mighty Mighty Boosh.
We're not mad.
The Mighty Boosh. Yeah.
A story told over 1 week. Flowers, a brand new series, coming soon.
What's that guy's name? Julian something? That looks good. I'll watch that. I don't know. When I have time to kill, I usually like to read or play video games. I don't watch a lot of TV. But Watchmen is amazing. One of the best things about Watchmen, weirdly, is the soundtrack. I don't know. Let's see if they have the soundtrack. Like, Trent Reznor did it. Do they have the... See if they have a... They don't have Trent Reznor on here? Or maybe it's the score. Oh, that's a playlist. Yeah. The soundtrack's really good. I don't know if this is O.J. Simpson drama. I haven't seen that either. I haven't seen anything. I'm a very bad TV watcher. This is not the song. Like, this one's pretty good. There's one song in particular. This one. This song's awesome. My theme song. I can dance. You gotta turn this up really loud though. That's it. I love this song. It's like a legitimately... Oh yeah, see, it's the best one. Oh yeah, they did the... Why are Asians good at everything? Woo! Feels good. Dancing's good. Dancing's a good stress relief. Lauren and I were dancing last night. It was fun. Drink a little whiskey, smoke a little weed, dance, listen to music. You want more dancing? I don't even know what a good dance song is. I was thinking about good dance songs. This is a good one. This is a nice. There we go. I don't have clips on. Whoops. I don't even know. It's a good song though. I don't have clips, so I'm safe. I can do whatever I want. Oh, okay, that was good. That felt good. Woke me up a little. This is a good song. This is a good part. Okay. What was I gonna do? What was I gonna do now? I was gonna look up. Did you like the hand sanitizer break? I was gonna look up Obama's coronavirus response, or H1N1 response, because somebody in here said that it was much better than Trump's, and that if Obama was in office, we would be doing fine, basically, because of how he managed H1N1. And Trump was earlier saying that Obama's H1N1 response was a mess. He was trying to say that he's been doing a much better job than Obama did with H1N1, which I assume, because Trump said it, is not true. So here's Trump fact check. This is what Trump said about Obama. Huh! This is funny. Got the H1N1 vaccine. President Trump tried to shift blame to his predecessor's handling of a health crisis 11 years ago. Series of tweets. Trump accused former President Barack Obama of making Right, that's what I'm trying to do that right now. Trump accused former President Barack Obama of making unspecified changes that complicated the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention's testing system. Right, that was one of the big failings, right? One of the biggest failings, probably the biggest failing, the one that really led up to all the other ones, was the testing. We didn't get testing fast enough. The testing it wasn't happening until like the last week. And so people didn't understand the extent of it. We didn't know when to shut down. We didn't know how serious it was. And Trump accused Obama of making changes that complicated the Center for Disease Control's testing and prevention system. He falsely charged that it was that Obama administration's result to swine flu outbreak was a full-scale disaster. What? Uh-oh. Really? How bad? Uh-oh. Lauren's friend not feeling well. He lives in New York City. So, that's not good. Yeah. He's worried about him. He already has two friends, I guess, who are in the hospital because of it. I know a couple people who have had it or thought they had it, but nobody got really sick that I know, but she's known two people who went to the hospital. So Trump falsely charged Obama's full-scale disaster with thousands dying and nothing meaningful done to fix the testing problem except now. This is where he says, decades CDC looked at and studied its testing system but did nothing about it. It would always be inadequate and slow for a large-scale pandemic, but a pandemic would never happen, they hoped. President Obama made the change that only complicated things further. Their response to H1N1 swine flu was a full-scale disaster. And then he's saying the changes have been made and testing will soon happen on a very large-scale basis. All red hat tape has been cut. Ready to go. Trump has on numerous occasions accused the Obama administration of implementing a rule to complicate testing. However, no such rule was ever put in place, according to factcheck.org. What a surprise. Wow. This is very long. When he said testing will have all red cut tape had been cut, he was referring to an announcement that the Department of Health and Human Services had awarded grants to 2 companies developing tests, and that the results could be done in under an hour. These tests, however, won't be available for about 6 to 12 weeks. According to, so he denied responsibility because he was dealing with certain regulations and rules and things from a different time. Well, 12,000 people died? From April 2009 to April 2010, 12,000 people died of the swine flu. Wow. I didn't know that. I didn't know that many people died. How many people have died in the U.S. of coronavirus so far? Like 1,000? How many people have died in the U.S. of coronavirus? Anybody? So the agency said the first case, this is swine flu. First case was reported on April 15th, 2009. And the government declared H1N1 a public health emergency on April 12th, 26th. So that was 9 days, or 11 days from the first case. The first test, 12,000 people have died, okay. Or 1,200. Quite a bit. But swine flu took 12,000 people. That was really surprising. The first test to detect the new virus was approved by the FDA 2 days later. Shipments of the new CDC test began May 1st. Well, it doesn't really... This doesn't really explain what their test was, their strategy. All it says was that actually there wasn't a rule put in place to make testing harder, and that they seem to have acted pretty swiftly in developing a test. It was 11 days after the first case that they declared a health emergency, and then 2 days after that, there was a test approved, and then they started shipping it May 1st, so within 15 days. I don't know, it's not a very good article. What's this? Oh yeah. 12,000 deaths. Wait, you said somebody put in here something. Found this, but I didn't read it. Where was it? Take it off? Let me put a link in here. I don't know. Oh, this. Yeah, I see it. Retrospect of the 2009. Woo! The long one. I think I'm allergic to this hand sanitizer, honestly. Oh, it's worldwide. Is there a video about it? Here's like an example.
We are closely
of how
monitoring
Obama
the emerging cases
talks about
of swine flu in the United States. And this is obviously a cause for concern and requires a heightened state of alert. But it's not a cause for alarm. The Department of Health and Human Services has declared a public health emergency as a precautionary tool to ensure that we have the resources we need at our disposal to respond quickly and effectively. I'm getting regular updates on the situation from the responsible agencies and the Department of Health and Human Services, as well as the Centers for Disease Control, will be offering regular updates to the American people. And Secretary Napolitano will be offering regular updates to the American people as well, so that they know what steps are being taken and what steps they may need to take. But one thing is clear: our capacity to deal with a public health challenge of this sort rests heavily on the work of our scientific and medical community. And this is one more example of why we can't allow our nation to fall behind.
Okay. Did he say much? This is when swine flu declared a national emergency.
What a scene it was this weekend as Americans tried to do the right thing. President Obama decided to declare the epidemic a national emergency of swine flu. And around the country, people were lining up waiting for hours to get vaccinations. But there are only 11 million doses available, far short of the 40 million expected by this time. And the 150 million the government says will eventually be needed for everyone. ABC's Lisa Fletcher has been there where the lines will be forming again.
Around the country, tens of thousands lined up for swine flu vaccines, hoping to get a shot before being shut out.
No more. This is the cutoff point.
We're being turned away when we're told that they don't have any. My children's
Yeah.
out of that state.
We've been in line for 5 hours today.
It's all done. One of the biggest fronts in the battle, Los Angeles County, where 20,000 doses were given just on Saturday, and it couldn't come fast enough.
We knew it was like limited, and we kind of braced ourselves, but still, you're never really prepared to wait 4 hours in a car.
The LA County Health Department reports 3,000 doctors ordered the medicine and only 400 have received it. In Chicago, 7 clinics used every drop they had and ended up turning people away.
If we had more supply, we could give it to more people, but we don't.
In fact, the government said 40 million doses would be ready by now. In reality, it's about 1/4 of that.
I think the problem has been the manufacturers have been overly optimistic, and it's made planning much more difficult.
46 states are reporting H1N1 as widespread, with more than 1,000 deaths and 20,000 hospitalizations. And while an average case is usually no more dangerous than other flu, this strain has its unknowns. 30% of the deaths are in healthy people with no underlying problems. And one more example of vaccine panic. A West Virginia mother allegedly stole a vial of the vaccine. She wanted to get the shot with her children, but the clinic informed her that at age 25, she was a year too old to qualify. Diane?
All right, Lisa, thank you. Well, what does the administration think about this scene around the country? And is it getting too late to bother getting the swine flu vaccine? We put that question and others to Secretary of Health and Human Services, Kathleen Sebelius. Does it upset you to see those pictures?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I never like to see people inconvenienced. I think that I'm pleased that the American public is eager to take advantage of this, vaccine breakthrough. And if we had found the virus a little earlier, we could have started a little earlier. But to remind people, this virus wasn't found until the end of April, and here we are at the end of October. We have a vaccine that works, and that's good news.
Purdue University has issued a study which
It only took them 6 months to get a vaccine? Why are they saying it's a year? They were able to get a vaccine for swine flu in 6
says
months.
that by their calculation, their metrics, the peak of the flu will be by Halloween, just a few days from now. Is it too late to wait in these long lines?
Well, I don't think it's too late. Flu season has just begun. The 1st of October was the launch of flu season. What we saw in the mid-50s with, again, a pandemic spread was that there was a big outbreak in the fall. It died down for a bit, and then a new wave in the spring. What we saw this April with H1N1 was a big burst of flu, a little bit of lower numbers, and then another big burst of flu. So I think that getting vaccinated, even if you've had the flu in the summer or early fall, our scientists tell us that's a good plan.
I know concern has been expressed that 4 out of the 5 of the manufacturers of the vaccine are overseas, not.
President Barack Obama urgently convened his flu team at the White House today.
I don't want anybody to be alarmed, but I do want everybody to be prepared.
The H1N1 virus is different than most flu strains. Young people are 20 times more likely to get it than people over 65. So the start of school is raising the concern level. The president says the vaccine program is making steady progress.
This program will be completely voluntary, but it will be strongly recommended.
But infectious disease experts aren't so sure. Flu vaccines are in trials right now, but the earliest they could be ready is October. A spike in the H1N1 virus could come sooner.
The question is not can we produce enough vaccine over time, can we produce enough vaccine quickly enough to get it into people's arms before the disease gets here.
Since the first outbreak of the H1N1 virus last spring, more than 1 million people have been infected. 553 have died.
Well, I don't know. It seems like it was a whole different thing. It's a whole different thing. Hard to compare, but I don't know. You guys want to see the kitten? Need a little palate cleanser. I was taking care of the kitten this morning, and it was like crying a lot. And I think one of the ways to like make it stop crying is just to like play with it a little bit. And I was like, or just hold it or have it near me. I was doing a phone call, a work call, and I just had it on the table with me, and it was sort of running around on the table, and all of a sudden I just looked down and there's just like a giant pool of piss all over the table. I don't know how that little kitten peed so much. It was like a gallon, just like I had to like pick up my laptop really quickly. Luckily the call was like just at the end, so but it was really annoying. I'm gonna see if the kitten's asleep. I'll bring it in if it's not asleep. I don't want to wake it up though, because it's really annoying. Sorry. Yeah. I hope so too. I'm not gonna die. Fine. He was asleep. I'm not gonna wake him up. I wanna play some PUBG, I guess. I couldn't get it to work yesterday, but whet my appetite. Stop watching that egomaniac and finish the book. The streets are waiting. I'm trying, man. It's not that easy. You just missed it, man. We were watching the press conference. I don't know. What do you chat? What's new? Somebody tell me. Tell Kia, and I'll fill in. I think the main news was that, I don't know, they didn't really announce much news, did they? You said, you know, we got a bunch of shit it's going good. I don't know, do you guys remember what he even said? I think they said that he reiterated that he wanted to open up stuff. What's her face said that, you know, it was going to be a local effort. But there was no big news. I think next week they're gonna have more. Well, they were saying that they want to start doing like contact tracing, which is basically like heavily monitoring the cases and the spread so that they can sort of open things up, but then find all the hot spots and be able to shut it down in targeted ways. So they're aiming for that. You know, they're still talking up the idea that we're going to be able to sort of open things up again. They need test kits ready, available. Right. They're still working on tests. That's one of the big problems. I don't really know where to put my... It'll be cool. One of those little... I should get one of those little, like, graphics that go around my portrait. You know, like the pro streamers have. Maybe then I'd be able to go viral. They need test kits readily available. That would help big time, yeah. Yeah, I just want to test. I want to know. It would be great if I got it. Then I could just go around and fucking not care. They should have drive-through tests. What? Why did I say that? Okay. Well, I hope I get a mild case. Oh, God. You want to come in? Want to watch me play PUBG? You don't have pants on? That's okay. I said, yeah, but they should also have house call ones for people that don't drive and elderly. That's a good idea. Is she a gamer too? Yeah, she likes games. Actually, we should that reminds me, she really likes Grand Theft Auto. We should play on stream sometime. It's fun. She gets really into it. And apparently, I've never seen her play Grand Theft Auto, but she said that she has a particular style of play, which I don't really know. I don't really know what that is. Lauren, let's play Grand Theft Auto sometime. What? He wants to what? Okay, he can come over too. But he has to be on stream. I don't really understand what happened there. Weird. Oh god, this is not good. I don't know what happened to me. How long do I think the shutdown will happen? May? I don't know, really. May. They're saying 8 weeks in LA, so... But I don't know if that's... You know, nobody knows anything. That's the truth of it. I've tried to stop... Oh. Man, what's up with this lag? It's such a bummer. I think somebody in here said that they're throttling me because they don't want me to spread the truth. That's how I feel. Everyone's home right now. North America hasn't reached its peak. Right. Oh god, there's a guy up there. I don't have a gun. I'm gonna run. Woo! Woo! See that? Did you see that? Oh! Wow. I gotta watch the death scam. That's not cool. Off to an inauspicious start here. This guy was good, huh? Did he even have a... I don't know how many cases there are in Mexico, no. Like, he could... Look, saw me running. Did he have a scope? Oh, he did have a scope. Did he even get me? That's crazy. I don't know how many cases they have in Mexico. I was reading a thing about Russia, and they don't have very many cases, but the article I read was saying that they probably were, you know, not testing very much. They didn't have very good tests. Somebody should look up, if anyone has time, maybe look up how many cases Mexico has, what's going on down there. Thanks. What else? What else? We had some really good Mediterranean food for lunch. Chicken kebab from this place down the street. That's amazing. I don't know, I woke up late. I was up late last night. Drank a little too much. It's just What? What were you saying? Mexico? They say... He's saying 475 cases, 6 deaths. I don't know if this is even playable with the lag. We'll try. 6 deaths. Not too bad. Alright. What? We're gonna take a nap? Okay. I'll probably be done when you're up. What are you stressed about? Okay. Stressed. What? Your father? Yeah, you should really be staying in. Getting still with me? Yeah. It's sleeping. Well, look at this. It's sleeping now. I didn't want to wake it up. I'm gonna go here. This is my favorite place to drop on this map. That little village. Man, I haven't played this in so long. I'm rusty. And also, I'm lagging. It's not gonna be very good. But, let's see. Whoa. Is that... You think its bandwidth is getting throttled everywhere? Really? Because everyone's online? It seems crazy. I don't know if I believe that. Like, my, I feel like my PS4 was fine. So many people watching Netflix. What do you think? It's like, do you think it'll go back to normal where, like, we'll have a normal social life, or is everybody just, like, now indoor only forever? I was talking to my friend about that. He was like, "Whoa, what's this? Shotgun?" I haven't played so long that they have new weapons now. Like, yeah, are we just gonna be living like a virtual world from now on? Everybody stuck in their houses, ordering food online, Netflix, and then all human contact will have disappeared. Think there's gonna be a spike in births? No, I don't think so, because I think we were talking about this before, but this is like a dire time, you know? It's not like people are going to be like looking to bring a life into the world necessarily. And Yeah. Stupid people don't care. I mean, true to an extent. You're just saying that people are stuck in their houses and they're fucking more, so they're gonna accidentally get pregnant. I don't know. I don't want to get that SKS, but I know that in my heart, I know that the car is better, even though I'm a worse shot with it, but I'll just drive the car. I guess I don't understand. Whoa! Really? Don't try that. Try that. Try to kill me like that. That's so annoying. He didn't even have a vest. Alright, feeling good. Got my first kill. I need a better vest, though. How are my FBI friends doing? Well, they're a little worried about coronavirus, not gonna lie. They think it might have been started by Al-Qaeda as a bioweapon. I told them that that's bullshit. It's just, why are they so paranoid? They got all upset with me and they kicked me out of the FBI. So now I'm just here playing video games for whatever. Strangers on the internet. This is how my life. This is my life. This is my life. Yep, hilarious meme. It's okay. I don't think it is okay, actually. I appreciate the sentiment, but just don't know. Especially because my lag is so bad, I'll never be able to kill anybody like this. Why? Terrible. This is not okay. Load it up on ammo though. So laggy. I can't see the chat now. I'm disconnected from chat. Sorry, guys. Not enough space. Laggy. Can't see the chat. I don't know. Something's going wrong. It don't say RAM either. It's not my RAM. Did Reddit ruin my life too? Oh, here we go. I'm back. Alright. USA just officially passed China. No! Ooh. No! No! USA #1, right? Not enough space. We're #1 in public health emergencies. #1 in incompetently dealing with a public health emergency. Well, that's it, guys. This is my life for now on. Not leaving the house. Gonna get extremely good at PUBG. Read 1 million articles every day. And talk to strangers on the internet. How do you guys think about that? Yes, dancing once in a while to let some stress out for sure. Uh-oh, this has already been looted. Somebody's been here. Good night. Thanks for hanging out. Be back tomorrow. There we go. What's that? Spike tire. There's so much ammo. Hey, thanks, man. Have some good beers. Stay safe. You'll be sad if you miss me winning my first match ever, though. This is my goal right now. The only goal I really have right now in life, because you never know what's gonna happen. Really gotta aim low these days. You know? Oh, good. I'm right in the center. I'm gonna get in these houses up here. Oh. Pretty good position. Although, I wish I had more elevation. Know what I'm saying? I could get up. Feel a little exposed here. I'll wait and see where the Whoa! Shit! Where is it? Oh shit. Oh! Where'd he go? Die. Oh. These guys are trying to... Oh my god. Trying to run him over. What's going on? Get out of there. Stop fucking around. Whoa! Shit. Where is he? This ain't good. Ay! Can I shoot him through here? Somebody else died. Away from that guy. Oh, shit! No! GG. That was pretty good. Not bad for my second game in a long time. Had to see how it played out. Alright, later. Thanks for coming. Thanks for stopping by. I don't know, wasn't too bad. I'm happy with that result, to be honest. I think took me a long time to get to this point. Like, I like this game because it's like, I've never played a game that had such skill progression, where I was like, at the beginning, I was just like, I'll never be able to even kill a person in this. And now I can, like, do pretty good. Hey, what's up? Cole FTP, how you doing? Welcome. Welcome to my isolation. My self-isolation. PUBG takes place in the world after coronavirus, you know? We met a year ago. Where did we meet? Scuffed Mansion. I might remember you. Was it at the Butler tryout? A lot of lag here. The day Paul moved, huh? A long time ago. Don't remember much. How have you been? How you been? Lag is too bad. Too bad in here. I lost connection to the chat server. Can't see you guys, sorry. Can't see chat. This is bad. This is too laggy. I can't even play. What the hell? Did you see that? Oh my god. It's too laggy. Come on. Why is it so laggy? I can't see my chat. How have I been? You know, I've been better, to be honest, but I wish that I wasn't locked in my house. I'm over social distancing. Cool, man. I'll check out your stream sometime. Are you on Mixer? Mostly Twitch. Oh, I lost my connection to the chat server again. Yeah, I don't know. People keep saying I should stream on Twitch. This is just too laggy. I don't think I can play. Try it, give it one more shot, and then. Yep. Oh God. Oh, I'm back on chat. I don't know. People keep saying that my internet's being throttled because everyone's watching streaming, but it's getting really bad. I don't know what's up. Although now it's sort of better, so it just stopped. Oh, there's someone over there. Oh, now it's bad again. Isn't that just the icing on the cake? Not only are we in a global pandemic, my internet sucks. And somebody's coming. And all I have is... I can't even... I can't get... My lag is too bad. He's almost dead, though. How is he not dead? I don't think I can play this. Think the lag? No, I think the lag is too bad. That was just like... That was just lag. Like, you see that? I don't even know what's going on here. That was very strange, to say the least. Can I, is there, I just gonna try one more time. Nah, not gonna work. Alright, this is dumb. It's not even... One more time. I really want to play one run round of this. least favorite map here. Oh, no. No. I don't think it's gonna work. I'm just trying to walk in a straight line, look. See how bad I'm lagging. Not too bad right now. Maybe I can do this. This guy's got a cool outfit. I like this guy's style. Jacket. I need some new clothes. No. No, not gonna work. Can't even move. You know, I actually met the guy who made this once. Video Game Awards. Player unknown. I think his name's Brandon. He's very tall. Very handsome, too. Surprisingly handsome dude. Okay, I give up. I give up. I give up on this whole thing. I'm gonna go. Yeah, it was. This one guy made it. I mean, he now has a team and everything, but yeah, it was one guy. Who else is live right now? Is it? So you think it's not just me? That would be great if it wasn't just me.
Great song.
Yeah, like I can barely watch this. All right, I'm gonna call it a day. Hopefully they fix everything by tomorrow. But thanks for sticking around. My download is 28 megabits right now. Drastically low. Huh. See, like now my connection's dead to my chat. I can't see. Peace out. Bye guys. You can see this even. My internet is dying.